Well, the US has once again begun the premium processing of H1-B work visas in all categories after it was suspended in April this year to handle a big rush of applications. Now, the H1-B visa is a non-immigrant visa that allows US companies to employ foreign workers in occupations that need technical expertise. The visa is especially popular among Indian IT professionals. Tech companies in the United States depend on this visa to hire tens of thousands of employees every year. The US Citizenship and Immigration Services, they've resumed fast processing for all of its H1-B visa petitions under the fiscal year 2018. The cap of about 65,000 applicants fall under this category and can benefit from fast processing. Let's get in Karthikeya Sharma, WION's political editor. He is joining me live right now. Karthikeya, thanks so much for joining us. Explain to us, what does this mean? Because from what we understand right now, the pending applications will go forward and they will be processed. What happens to the others?
You know, what has happened is that it is one can say, a sort of a relief, because the whole process has been started after a hiatus of 5 months. And it has to do one H1-B visa. Now, H1-B visa, when we talk in context of the subcontinent, is primarily about those involved with software and IT companies. And IT companies have been pretty up in the scale of things when it comes to the Silicon Valley or the whole startup culture of California, which is, centered around SFO in America. Now, as the decision has come, it says that they will start to process the H1-B formalities, which means that those who had been waiting, those who had got the job, those who had qualified to work abroad and could not because of the changed political climate in the United States of America, will now be eligible. So that this resumption of work after 5 months will create some sort of a relief, because for Indians, it means that 65,000 new jobs are created for them. Imagine 65,000 people working in India, or not working in India, will be getting high-paying jobs abroad. So it's about money, it's about more remittances, it's about more people getting job outside.
Right. Also, Karthikeya, we understand a crucial high-level meeting between New Delhi and Washington officials is scheduled on the 27th of this month. And this issue, according to reports coming in from Washington, say will not be taken up. So does that mean that we can expect further easing of restrictions that we've seen in the past, which includes many more applicants, which run into thousands and thousands, will be met with successfully? It'll be a lot easier for them in the days to come?
Sana, the basic problem is that Donald Trump has taken up a position, make in America and make America great again, which means that he wants people to manufacture commodities in America. It's good, from the nation state's point of view, it's good. But in terms of the global trade, emerging economies, it hurts us. For example, you'll be surprised to know that Apple is not Apple phones, which is why they are not manufactured in the United States of America. The last factory which used to make the Apple was shut 4 years back. It was shipped out. So, the Apple is being made cheaply all across the world. So, similarly, the shipping out of the manufacturing sector in areas where cheaper labor is available is something which America witnessed for 35, 40 years. But this they want to reverse so that the middle America, which feels left out, can get the job. But it creates problems for emerging economies. So, this is the new geopolitics, and India will have to meander this new terrain.
Absolutely. And very quickly, Karthikeya, this move is obviously a positive for India for the moment. But going forward, are we to understand that there will be no more restrictions and things will continue to go on as they had been before Donald Trump came out with this policy 6 months ago?
I think going forward, what the Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in San Francisco, what he said, I think a month back, you got to create a startup culture in India. You got to create a eco-political or a moral ecosystem where you should not be ashamed of failing. If you fail once or twice, it should not be seen as a virtue. It should not be seen as a personality default. It's like, say, when you want to fail fast and quickly so that it is cheap in terms of expense and idea. So similarly, that culture in India needs to emerge. And I think that's where the Indian government and Indian civil society needs to move forward to. How come you have startup culture in California, you have different banking laws, you have a different cultural setup, you have different places for company or venture capitalists where you are allowed to try new ideas. So it's not that India doesn't have capital, it's not that India doesn't have space, it's not that India does not have climate. What you need is a cultural ecosystem. What we need to do and Indians need to do is to build a cultural ecosystem.
We'll leave it at that, Karthikeya. Thanks so much for joining us with inputs on that story.